Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey, everybody.
Hello there. And today, the big news is that on Tuesday, March 8th, the DDO servers are moving to New Jersey. Yes.
That's right. The big data center move is here, and let's hope that it goes well. The official downtime is 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is tomorrow, March 8th. So pretty much all day tomorrow. If you maybe took the day off work to play some DDO all day, you chose wrongly on your day off.
Well, I hope you have other games that you like to play.
Exactly. Hope you have something else to do on your day off. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the scheduled time is 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we'll see what happens with that.
We'll see how long it really is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. That's a tricky thing to do, that like complete data center move like that. So I don't envy them at all. Being in IT, I know what kind of a pain that can be. So good luck to them, and may their headaches not be too many tomorrow. So we hope it goes smooth.
Yeah, well, we can only hope that, especially since tomorrow is, of course, the day where I normally would be doing my video for DDO on my weekly video list. It'd be hard to do it if the servers stay down.
Well, hopefully it won't be too much after 5 p.m. Eastern, but they did say to keep an eye on their social medias, as they will be updating that and the forums. So apparently the forums and the website is not hosted at the same place because it's not going down tomorrow, which I found interesting. That is a separate server, apparently not moving. So
they moved it already.
That could be that. Well, no, because we haven't had any forum downtime or anything. So.
Well, yeah, you got a point there.
So, yeah, I guess we'll see. But like I said, just keep an eye on the forums. Keep an eye on social media. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook and all that as well, too. Google+. We'll be sure to keep everybody updated as well on any happenings during the day. But hopefully about 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we can all get back in and everything will be smooth sailing. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We can hope.
And Cordovin made an announcement that players will have through at least the end of March to turn in their 10th anniversary tokens.
Yeah, we talked about this last week when he was on, but there was 2 or 3 threads that started in the forums. People were asking, how long do we have to turn these in? How long do we have to turn these in? So we're just helping to get the word out there. Maybe, people that listen to us, maybe some of you don't read the forums or what have you. So yes, you have at least until the end of March. They said they will let us know for sure when the event will end, but if you still have your free anniversary token and you haven't picked any of your loot yet, you have some time to make your decision, which I haven't actually turned any of mine in yet. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to get on all my characters. So
we'll I have to go in decisions.
So yes, end of March at least. So take your time, but don't take too long.
Right. And we have issue 181 of the DDO Chronicle, where we learn that there's a gnome on the front cover.
And does this really shock anybody that there's a gnome on the cover of the Chronicle? It shouldn't if it does.
And see, the gnome looks like, where's she standing?
That is the person that is standing by the anniversary party dungeon. That's where you actually get the quest from.
Oh, yes. She did look a little bit familiar there. Yeah, I figured I had to have something. It looked like something anniversary-ish, and yes.
And a little fun fact about that gnome, that is the first in-game NPC gnome we have ever seen.
Well, seeing it's a new race.
Well, yeah, so So see, you now have some trivia that you can answer later. When that comes up in a couple years, it'll be, what was the first NPC gnome we saw in DDO? You can say it's the anniversary party NPC, which I can't off the top of my head think what her name is.
You can't remember her name.
Anyway,
Yes, that redhead one with the glasses. Yes.
well, it's more pink, but yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, a little pinkish in there.
The in the community spotlight of the Chronicle, the DDO character planner is right on top of things, and they have updated themselves. So click over and get the latest version of that. Now includes all the gnominess goodness you can get to plan those characters out.
Ooh, you mean the thing that I keep on forgetting to do?
Yeah, that. And then also, there was a thread in the forum that Cordovan did respond to, and he talked about this on our show and on the live stream he did. But there is 500 lucky DDO players out there that are getting a dice bag and a 2 D10s and a D20. So you can click over and see what that looks like and see all of the people in the forums that are saying, hey, I got one. I was one of the lucky ones. Sadly, I did not get one, but that's okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And it looks like with these, it's mainly founders that are getting them. So players that started from day one. It looks like the bulk of the people. But I did see a couple people respond in this forum thread that was up that are not founders that have gotten them. So they didn't really say exactly what the criteria for getting one was, but it looks like the bulk of them are founders. So if you are a founder, you probably should have gotten your dice bag already in the mail, because I think they sent them all out in a big batch, Cordovan said.
To save postage, most likely.
I would say yes. In the fan site section of our Chronicle DDO cast, celebrated 10 years with an episode. Click over to watch or listen to that. There was a whole host of people on that show. It was a good show. Basically, they were just reminiscing about 10 years of DDO, as did we last week, with our special guest, Cordovan. So listen to our show from last week. If you have not, Jeff over at DDO Gamer, he found the gnomes. So click over and check out what he has to say about the gnomes. And also, this is not the Chronicle, but I just want to make sure people are aware of it. Jeff over at DDO Gamer has been going gnome crazy this week. And he is doing a lot of different builds for gnomes and talking about the advantages and disadvantages on certain builds for gnomes. So if you're into the crunchy side of builds, check over all of the great stuff that Jeff is doing over there on DDO Gamer. And Even Note, a former guest here on DDO Players News, debuts a new video in honor of DDO's 10th anniversary. So click over and give that a watch. In the order of Syncletica, I can never pronounce that, so I probably butchered that. I apologize.
Syncletica?
Sure, we'll go with that. It's a pretty cool blog. I read it quite often. They took a look at the religions in Eberron, so if you're kind of interested in some of that aspect of DDO, give that a read. That was a pretty good read. I really enjoyed that. And our unofficial stalker, Edric, looks at the House Sinzend. So click over and check out his blog. And that is it for our DDO Chronicle this week.
And I noticed that the screenshot of the week features someone by the name of System Backup. It sounds like an appropriate name just before the
well, yes, it does.
Data transfer.
And that's just a pretty cool shot of House Kandaric. That's the moon and House Kandaric there. So if you've been in House Kandaric, I'm sure you have seen that shot many a time, but a cool screenshot nonetheless.
Then let's head into the store sales. Anything exciting for sale this week?
We've got 35% off, the Harper Agent Enhancement Tree, select stat tomes of veteran status, and select classes, all at 35% off. Our free sample of the week through March 10th is a handy little sample to have, the Greater Remove Negative Level Potions. You can get that when you use the coupon code that you can find by going to our show notes.
Now, my question is, what are the select classes?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I did not look to see exactly what they were. But if you want to hold on 1 second, I can quickly go, and we can pretend like I had this ready. So, stop for time, finally.
Stall for time?
Stall for time.
Well, yes. Well, while we go on and talking about what these select classes are, we had a poll that we had up from last week where we asked the question about oatmeal raisin cookies because let's face it, in the anniversary event, they are not very kind to oatmeal raisin cookies. In fact, you get a sad face on them if you buy one of those things. And of those, we had 32 people respond to the poll, which means that it was not exactly the most attractive poll that we've ever done. But of those 15 voters, 47% said yes, love them. While 25%, 8 voters, says no, they are evil. They must have agreed with the devs. And 7 voters, 22% says, I eat all cookies. And we've got the Cookie Monster below there, too. He must have been one of those 7 voters. And then 2 voters, 6% says, I don't eat cookies.
And what kind of person are you that does not eat cookies? I mean, really, how can you not eat a cookie? And to answer your question about classes, I cannot answer it because it's not listed on the site. I would have to go in game, so.
All right, then I guess we'll have to skip that and then head into the DDO Players Screenshot of the Week, number 45.
And if you have a screenshot you would like to see on our site, podcast at ddoplayers.com, and we might feature your site or your screenshot. I do that every week when I talk about that. You would think by now I would know what to say during this section of the show, but alas, I do not yet. This week's shot is my rogue stalking a Medusa through the mist, getting ready to attempt not to get stoned by the Medusa. So check that screenshot out. And once again, I said podcast at ddoplayers.com, and we will feature your screenshot on the site because I'm sure you people are tired of looking at mine. Because I take a lot of screenshots.
Right. So let's then head on to the news from the dungeon, where Wizards of the Coast gives us a peek at Cursed Strahd with the TOC. That's the table of contents, I presume?
That is the table of contents. You are correct, sir.
Ooh, and see, Into the Mist, the lands of Bavaria. Yeah, okay, they're going to talk about Bavaria and the village itself, the castle.
So this is basically a great overview of everything that's going to be coming up when the book hits retail March 15th, but it is actually out now. If you have a Wizards Preferred store near you, your friendly local game store may have copies in stock that you can buy now if you don't want to wait for the official retail release of March 15th.
All right, this is quite a...
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. It's and if you notice, if you take a look at the monsters and NPCs section of the table of contents, we are getting were-ravens, Pineleaf. How cool is that?
Were-ravens? Wow.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that is definitely a different were. I'm trying to think about turning oneself into, because when you consider the size of a raven compared to the size of a person.
Well, you got to remember you are in Barovia, so things are different. And there is magic involved, so...
Well, yeah, there is magic involved. Okay. Yeah, I have to admit there is magic involved. Usually when I think of shapeshifters, I think that they're somewhere comparable in size. All right. Then let's head into some more peeks into the table of contents wasn't enough, apparently.
No, Wizards is just going crazy with these little hints they're dropping here and there for Ravenloft. We got a look at some of the trinkets you may find in your adventures in Barovia. And what you do is you roll D100 and you see what you get on the dice. And then that is the trinket that you might find. There are some interesting trinkets, to say the least. One would be a clothes stolen from a scarecrow.
Yes, I was looking at that. Okay.
A lock that opens when blood is dripped in its keyhole. So that kind of makes sense. And of course, you have the winter coat stolen from a dying soldier. So very Ravenlofty trinkets that you will be able to find.
Very well, then. Then let's head into...
Oh, we're not done, Pineley.
Oh, we're not done?
No, it was not just the
There's
trinkets they
more?
were showing off. There is more. There is tons more. They
Oh.
also showed off the foreword that you can find in the book, and this was written by none other than Mr. Tracy Hickman, of course, the father of D&D, or Ravenloft, I should say. And he goes through kind of a little bit about the history of Ravenloft and how he came about it, and just what he thought about revisiting Ravenloft. So if you're into the history of Ravenloft and Tracy Hickman, go ahead and give that a look. But wait, there's yet more, Pine Leaf. I'm telling you, Wizards is just going crazy hyping this because they know everybody wants the Curse of Strahd. Also, they showed off Mr. Jeremy Crawford standing with the fully folded out map that is going to come inside of the Curse of Strahd. And side 1 is a layout of Barovia, and side 2 is a look at Castle Ravenloft, and that was the picture that they showed off. And I gotta say, this map is pretty big, and it looks amazingly detailed. So you can click over on our site to see that picture that Wizards tweeted out. And also, they give you a little challenge ratings list so you can see what monsters are going to kill you when you face them in Ravenloft, Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, speaking of monsters that are going to kill them, how are your plans on Strahd's Revenge coming along?
Oh, they're coming along nicely, Pineley.
Okay.
I have so many deaths planned for my party, they're not going to know what hit them.
Ah.
Let's just say they're all in trouble. That's all
They're
I'm
all
say
in
about
trouble.
But I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do. Are we going to put our current story that we're running through on hold and jump into Curse of Strahd? Are we going to finish that out and I'm going to kill them in the Tomb of Horrors and then turn around and kill their new players in Ravenloft? I'm not sure what I'm going to do to them yet. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So now let's head to Ravenloft Comes to the DM's Guild.
A lot of Ravenloft news, but everybody kind of figured this was going to come, but Wizards did finally make it official with a tweet from Christopher Lindsay, and he said the DM's Guild now supports Ravenloft. So that's right, you can now publish adventures, backgrounds, new monsters, anything you would like, and you can use everything officially Ravenloft per the DM's Guild rules. And I looked today, and there's a few things up that are Ravenlofty, but not a lot yet, but I assume that is going to change soon, because Ravenloft was just added on Friday. So I'm assuming you need to give some people time to get the stuff cooked up. But right now, there is a free PDF up, which I've linked to in the article on this. It's called Ravenloft and the Dungeon Masters Guild, and that is a guide to the themes, the tone, and other relevant details specific to writing your adventure content for the Domain of Dread. So if you have some ideas cooking up in your head for something cool to do with Ravenloft and 5e, you can now do it and maybe make some money because you can sell it over on the Dungeon Masters Guild.
Well, and DDO Players News had an interview with Robert Aducci from Dungeons & Dragons Adventure League. And I think we heard about this last time.
We did. We played it at the end of the show last week, and we also put it out in our podcast feed and on our YouTube channel. So if you, for some reason, didn't hear it last week during the show, you can catch it in our feed now. It was a great little interview. Lasted about 30 minutes, we covered the Adventures League, how it works, how Ravenloft is going to fit in to the Adventures League, and some more. So I just want to once again thank Robert Aducci, who is the community manager for the Adventures League, for taking a little bit of time out and having a chat with us. It's always fun to talk to some of the Wizards people.
All right, then. Now let's head on to the tabletop, where I heard a rumor that Houdini was a wonderful cook.
Not so much, Pine Leaf.
Oh, okay.
Not well. maybe not. At least not in this card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a card game that is going to go up on Kickstarter soon called Houdini's Poutine. And apparently poutine is some kind of Canadian national dish or something. I didn't know that until I looked it up to see what it was for this review, because I'm like, what the heck is a poutine? But
Yeah, that's
anyway, because you kind of have to know what a poutine is to understand the game. And once I understood that, the game kind of made more sense. The crux to the game, though, is Harry Houdini is throwing a dinner party for all of the world's greatest magicians. And to make the evening more special, Houdini has prepared a unique delicacy that is poutine. But unfortunately, for everyone at the party, Houdini is a terrible cook. And each player must use their skills and magic to escape from the party without hurting Houdini's feelings.
Now, my question is, I guess Houdini's wife was out of town or something?
Suspension of disbelief, I guess.
Yes, okay. Right.
Don't use logic, finally. Don't use logic.
All right.
Just go with
wondering. If he's a terrible cook, I suspect he wasn't the one doing it.
That's right. But the goal of the game is to get 5 of your people escape through the window, and you do that by playing cards. What happens is you draw cards, and each card has either an action or an item or is an escape card. And if you get an escape card, you have to have the correct items to be able to play the escape card to actually escape. And the goal is to get 5 people escaped, and you win the game. It's a really fast-paced and fun game. It's got great artwork. To me, it reminded me almost like Rummy and Old Maid combined. And then, of course, it has what I like to call the screw your friends over mechanic. So it can either be played cooperative, or it depends who you're with. You can just try to be in it for yourself and try to screw your friend over as much as you can, which is usually when my friends and I get together. That's how we end up playing any game, even if you're not supposed to. So it depends on the people you're with, how you're going to play it.
I try to think, because if the object is to be the first to get out, I try to say, how's it be played cooperatively?
Well, you can. There's mechanics in it to where you can pass cards to people, or if you know somebody needs a card, you can lay that card and they can pick it up. So it depends. Or you can just be in it for yourself. But it's a fun game. The Kickstarter, it's actually not out yet. I got an early preview review copy to check out. The Kickstarter is going to be going up sometimes this week. And we'll let you know when the Kickstarter is up, and of course, if it makes its Kickstarter and when it will be available. But it was a pretty fun game, though. I enjoyed it. It's Houdini's Poutine. And we would like to give a big thank you to FPE Games for sending us that preview review copy to check out.
All right, then let's head into our week in DDO. And Drac, what were you up to?
Not a lot, because as you can tell from my voice, I am sick, so I didn't get much done, but I did get some gameplay in.
All right.
My Shader Kai, still holding at level 18, still running stupid Devil's Gambit and those stupid quests, and still not getting the stupid Quiver and stupid RNG and all of that. But I have more docents at this point than I'm ever going to need in my life, because number 1, I don't use docents on any of my characters. And number 2, that's the only stupid name drop I ever get out of that quest.
Are docents?
Yes.
It knows that you can't use docents.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then last night, no, it was Saturday night, I got so excited because I didn't look to see what it was. I just saw there was a name drop, and it was like, oh my God, I got the Quiver. And I looked and I'm like, stupid docent. And like I said last week, I don't know. I think, but see, at this point, now it's me to outprove the RNG. So I say I want to
last longer.
Exactly. I say I want to quit. I really do, because I don't think it's worth it at this point. But now I'm just trying to prove a point. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And let's see. What else did I do on Kenneth, my ranger, who is at 15? That's my Deepwood Stalker that I'm trying out. That's in the static group that I'm doing with Saba, Mithri, and Rent. We're running the Giant Hold. So we ran that on Elite. We did a Cabal for 1, the Maze of Madness, and Trial by Fire. Didn't really have too many problems with any of those. Maze of Madness, Rent is the one that is doing all of our traps for us. And when we first went in there, he had forgotten to put on his item that helped him with his disabled device. So the first couple traps, he blew up.
Oops.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to put my other item on." And then we didn't have any problems with the trap, so that's fun. But yeah, I'm just dreading the whole Crucible thing that's coming up soon, probably. Crucible. Yeah. I told them I'm not doing anything of that. I'm just standing there piking it. You're doing it all, and they said, "No, we're gonna make you do it." I'm like, "Nope, not happening." So we'll see who wins that battle. Yes, I'm talking to you, Saba. I'm talking to you. And my Ranger, which is level 20. Which I run with you on Wednesday nights, we'll let you talk about over on our Ganesson. My Wolflock is still at level 19. I ran the anniversary party a few times with Rent and Myth because they were trying to get some party favors for some stuff they wanted to get out of that. So I just kind of tagged along with them. We were running it on, I think, level 24 or whatever. So I was kind of okay, but I died a few times because, wow, once you get up into them higher levels, some of those devs hit hard. And I want to say it was Steel Star, just totally one-shotted me. But it was fun nonetheless. Once I got away from the devs and we got into the Cobalt part, I was fine. My wolf was just shooting fireballs and having an enjoyable time of it. And then took my wolf out into Evening Stars. I'm running those quests. Went into the Stormhorns. So I'm starting to do all of those. Worked on a bunch of Slayers, Explorers, all that fun stuff. And the only quest I actually ran was the Lines of Supply. Didn't have any problems with that at all. I have a level 8 Rogue over there. And I ran the anniversary party 3 times with Rent on Argo because he needed just a few more party favors, and we decided we'd run it at level, and he had a level 8. I think he's a barbarian is what he is. So we ran it at level 8, and then we ran it at level 10, and didn't have too many problems with that. And then we took those characters into the Vault of Night series, and we ran the Thrask Arena. No problems with that. So working on my rogue over there. Yes, I'm kind of addicted to rogues, as you can tell.
Yeah.
And that's really all I did this week, because like I said, I'm sick, so didn't get a lot of games. You probably couldn't tell from my voice. Either that or Barry White has possessed me. I'm not sure which.
See, that's what you get for drinking bad blood.
I see, that's it. I need to make sure I test it before I drink it. That's what it is. See, you got it all figured out, finally.
Okay. Let's hint my way on my level 5 Ranger. Actually, I leveled to 6 at the end of this, where I ran the anniversary party, and as you noted, down at the lower levels, it's hey, a walk in the park, right? Okay, actually, it wasn't a walk in the park. Actually, it kept me on my toes all throughout there, but I did get through there without getting killed any, which was nice. But those kobolds do come at you fast and furious, I have to admit, on that matter. As for the Artificer, level 20 with Dirac, we finished up the high road, the end of the road, and then we ran the anniversary parties. So therefore, anniversary party solo, level 5, I had no serious problems there. Okay, I just remembered that. I was worried that if the server didn't come back in time, I'd not be able to record my next episode for my Archer series for DDO. But I just remembered I did the anniversary dungeon last week, and I had to split it into 2 episodes. I already have an episode
there you go.
for tomorrow.
You're covered no matter what happens.
I am already covered for there, yes. And we also had the anniversary party where I ran the anniversary party with Dirac, level 20. And as he said that the devs hit pretty hard at higher levels, I found that out. And also, I think a lot of kobolds also hit pretty hard because I think just about everything in that dungeon killed me at least once.
And once again, I don't understand why your poor artificer dies so much.
I have a feeling I probably just had. I think that if there were a challenge for how bad of a build you can get for a character, I think my artificer might have been a great challenger for it. I'm not too sure that I'd be able to get through Misery's Peak with that character.
So, what you're saying is if there would be a challenge for the worst build ever,
you win Dungeons and Dragons Online.
That's what you're saying, right? You would win that, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay, all right. We'll see. But so are you gonna tell them what the plan that you have?
Yes. So as a result of that little fiasco and deciding that I've got things pretty poorly done on that character, I was originally thinking maybe I should respec or something like that. But then I was thinking about it, and the way I play my artificer. First off, I do occasionally use the spells, and I've been using them more lately, but I haven't been using them all that much. And I'm playing my artificer sort of like let's say a wizard with a repeating crossbow or something like this. In other words, I'm pretty poorly armored, poorly spec'd and all that stuff. We're going around. And the other problem I had is that we're in a party that has 2 ranged characters, which is a bad combination. I think we probably should have.
Actually, that's
that was my fault.
I'm gonna say, let's go back and let's.
But originally,
I
was a wizard, if you recall.
Right. You were.
I was a wizard.
You were, and that's why my ranger was originally a rogue as well, or had some rogue splash damage.
Had some in it, but you're mostly a ranger,
right?
So therefore, we decided let's start all over again. We're first thinking about TRs and stuff like that, but we looked at the price of it. We're saying, okay, do we really want to do all this just for a past life? so we decided to start new characters instead. So therefore, we'll be starting new characters. See, I know I'm on a gnome, and I know Drac was at least considering a gnome.
Yeah, I did a gnome.
Right, so we'll be a pair of gnomes to go with the new stuff, and we'll start from scratch. I will be playing a warlock, and Drac will be playing
a rogue, of course.
Ooh, what a shot!
Exactly. But I want this out here in the public so everybody that's listening to the show can be my witness, because this happened before. You are not going to do anything with any rogue levels whatsoever. You're not going to do traps. You're not going to do anything of the sort. Right. So I can stay a rogue.
Okay. No, I'll take no rogue levels and no artificer levels.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out there because we had this problem before. All right.
Okay.
We're good then.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. But, very well. No rogue levels and no artificer levels.
The other big news is what else you're going to make me do with these characters, though.
You mean go through Korthos?
Exactly. Everybody knows how I feel about the whole Korthos Island experience.
Oh, right. Well, do you want to go into Stormreach and see how the anniversary dungeon works at level 1?
We could do that, but no, actually, I think it will be kind of fun to do Korthos since we're doing gnomes and to see how those builds work out. So
yeah.
And do I even have to ask what kind of warlock that you created?
Leave it this way: the name of my character is Pine Chi.
Okay, that's all I need.
I think they should make the type of warlock I am very, very obvious.
Yeah, that says all I need to know, right?
We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join our LFG to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest for an episode of DDO Players News. LFG?
Looking for group, Pineley.
Well, I figured
we're looking for group. Come on.
Okay, I've never thought of it that way, but all right.
Well, see, I did that because I wanted to relate it to DDO, because on Lotro players, you say if you want to join our fellowship.
No, actually, I say raid.
A raid, okay, sorry.
We have raids in DDO.
Yeah, but there are only 12 players.
Oh, okay.
We've surpassed that a long time ago with
Well,
our Patreon.
yeah, true. But in Lotro, the largest rate is 24, and we're past that.
Okay, Pine Leaf Logic.
Well, we need to start a third raid.
There you go.
This week we did not receive any reviews, but we love your support. We also did not receive any emails, but you can email us at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also Twitter us at The Players Alliance, at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles.
And before you go on with your final thoughts, I just wanted to say one thing about our DDO Players Twitter. I noticed on Saturday that we have surpassed over 600 followers now. So that is awesome. So thank you to all. I think now we're up to like 610 or something like that. So thanks to all 610 of you that are following us on Twitter. That means a lot to us. Thank you.
All right, and thank you on that. And we have 5 live shows every week. Well, not every week. We have 5 live shows total. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. Every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Academy After School. And you can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And you can join us for an interview with Nick from the Shady Rogues after the live show. This will also be included in the podcast and YouTube feeds on Tuesday. And this is all for tonight. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.